The president has a new Surgeon General nominee, Callie Means, who's
Casey.
Casey Means. Sorry, Casey Means, Callie's
Allie's
brother,
the brother.
sister, Callie's sister. Thank you. Uh, Casey Means, who is very popular with MAHA. She's a big supporter of Secretary Kennedy. Her brother is in the administration as a temporary government employee. She's perfectly qualified by the sort of standard metrics to be a Surgeon General, but she is being attacked by two, at least, very important MAGA voices. First, Laura Loomer, 105. Laura Loomer, who forced out the previous nominee on the eve of her confirmation hearings, says that Casey Means is, yeah, this is kind of a cryptic tweet, but she says, amongst other things, that she's not a Trump supporter. So Laura Loomer is against her. And somehow she still got the job, even though Laura Loomer is de facto personnel director at the White House. And then this is interesting. Ms. Shanahan, who was Bobby Kennedy's running mate, Nicole Shanahan, also extremely negative about this nomination, calls it strange, doesn't make any sense, and suggests that there's a rift between her and RFK, who she says she was lied to. So, Sean, can you decode this? Why is Donald Trump replacing one Loomer reject with another Loomer reject?
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, the timing of this, Jeanette's confirmation hearing was supposed to be today.
Yeah.
There are questions about her credentials, according to the media. I don't know that that's true or not, or whether that's just the excuse. But the replacement was so quick that I got to believe that something was in the thing. As a side note, just so everyone understands, Jeanette, the previous one was Mike Waltz's sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So the question is, was she once Waltz was out?
Waltz was promoted. He's not out.
I apologize. No, no, you didn't let me finish the
Yeah.
sentence.
Okay. Sorry. Go
Once
ahead.
he was out of the White House and going to New York, did that have any impact on her standing? I think, look, Casey, I mean, Callie, as you mentioned, is an SGE, a special government employee serving at HHS right now. Very influential, not just with Bobby.
Recent guest on Two Way as well.
But he is also very, very influential in the MAHA movement writ large, right? He's does a lot of the dinners and a lot of the speeches. Her book, Good Energy, that he was a co-author on, was basically, I think, I know a lot of people give Tucker the interview with Tucker credit, and I think rightly so, but that book became a bestseller for a reason. It's phenomenal. I think that Laura probably just they she's clearly able to take people out, but I don't know that they're looking for who to replace them with to her. And that seems to, and I only say that because clearly that this pick was not run by her because she's going after her. The interesting thing, I think, if you look at some of Laura Loomer's tweets, is that it's both on substance that, like, she talks about her father and some of her personal behaviors, but also starts to question her credentials, like that she's not currently holding a medical license. Somebody's clearly, I mean, like, this to me will be interesting to see which one wins on this.
Okay,
Because,
but Sean, just to decode here, if Laura Loomer is totally opposed to someone,
but remember, Mark, that's what I'm getting at. She gets
yeah.
to take people out. I'm not sure she's being consulted on who to replace them with.
But if you're the White House and you've just let Loomer veto yet another personnel choice, doesn't it make sense to say, hey, how does Laura feel about this person? Like,
Yeah, it
I mean,
does, but I
if you're
also
going to
don't
give
think.
if you're going to give her a veto, why invite letting her publicly humiliate you again by saying sorry, you can't have your second choice?
It's a great question, and I don't know that that was vetted. I think that my guess is that because of Callie's access to Bobby and the prominence
Yeah,
in the Maha movement, it was just like, oh, we've got a great replacement. Look
yeah.
how quick that went. There wasn't a. I got to be honest, that to me did not look like that. That was a, hey, the other one's down. Who do we got in
Yeah.
the bullpen?
Well, yeah, because they typically don't. Typically, most administrations, not just this one, if something like that happens, they say we'll get back to you with the
Well, look
replacement.
at Waltz,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a
Yeah.
backup.
Well,
The idea.
they were at least trying there. They were trying. They
Right,
just didn't come
but
up
my
with one.
point on this one is they took her down, and then someone said, "Hey, you know what? We got someone right here who can handle it. It's
Yeah.
Allie's sister, who's a big, she's the name on the book. She's the one that."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Dan, they can't deny the reality. Laura Loomer is the de facto personnel director. So
You stole
I
my
mean,
line. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I,
How do they walk into this and say, well, okay, we're giving you your way, but now go after another one?
it just made me scratch my head. And by the way, there's this group, MAHA, that is very important to the Trump movement, that's very important to their future and their political coalition. You're kind of going to war with a little bit here. I mean, I don't think Laura Loomer's MAGA. I don't think she's MAHA. And so she's kind of throwing arrows at another person. So I'll be very curious, because the fact that Laura Loomer seems to pop in and pop out and then publicly kind of like put scalps on mantles, that like I got people when Trump doesn't like it when it's seen as not him but other people. As a Democrat, I enjoy this.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I find fascinating, by the way, about this whole thing is when it comes to purity, which I've always found fascinating in MAGA world, right? Like you look at Bobby and look at Tulsi. I mean, the idea they ran in the party opposite him and attacked him, and they are now a cabinet level position. So I find it fascinating sometimes the purity level of when you joined or how pure you are, because there are people who've come in and out of MAGA world that clearly are not 100% pure, but for some reason or other get a pass or get brought into the fold deeper. I think that I would not go so far as to say she is the personnel director. I think in some cases she is exposing cracks in some of the system in terms of the decisions, and they give excuses. I mean, look, she was used as a heat-seeking missile to take out walls. Yeah. I don't think I don't know how much of a play she had in the previous Surgeon General nominees standing, but we'll see. I think, by the way, I don't think that the Casey thing will work. I think Casey's standing within MAHA is strong enough that she's going to...
I do too. Just to be clear, Sergio, I was being hyperbolic for humor effect when I said she was the de facto personnel director. She's not really, but she has a lot of influence.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.